Welcome to my favorite nonprofit radio segment called Nonprofits Care. Their causes are really extraordinary.
Nonprofit organizations serve our community in a host of ways, and yet, until now, there's never been one place to find out about causes that are really extraordinary. It's time for Nonprofits Who Care, hosted by Ralph Grills, founder of My Favorite Nonprofit.
Welcome back to the Experience Bros Radio Show. It's time for Nonprofits Who Care. Causes really are extraordinary, and Ralph Grills, the founder of My Favorite Nonprofit, is in the studio. Ralph, I'm excited. You just bring the best guests. I can't wait to see where we go today.
Well, thank you, Eric. I'm really excited to be here again.
Absolutely. And so tell us what are we talking about today?
Okay, what we're going to talk about today, I have a guest here with us in studio. His name is David Talbot, and he's with Crutches for Africa. And David, how long have you been with Crutches for Africa?
Well, we started Crutches for Africa. We had the conception of the idea in 2005. So calendar years, we're looking at 8 years now in 2012.
Okay, and what made you come up with this program that you're doing right now?
You know, that's an interesting question. Part of what brought me to that point was personally, I had polio when I was 2.5. So I understood the need growing up for mobility and overcoming a disability, having had polio, and then being free from all of the encumbrances of crutches, walker, having to use braces and stuff on my legs. For about 45 years. And then I started to get post-polio syndrome, which is a recurrence of the symptoms, not the disease. And while that was going on, I was working in Uganda, and I saw a woman whose right foot was touching the back of her right shoulder. Her femur was completely twisted around from polio, and that's where her foot stayed. And she had a big green tree branch with a big old gnarly end on it. Somebody had ripped it off of a tree that day, it looked like, for her to use to try to hop along. And seeing that kind of a challenge, it was an opportunity where the scales fell off my eyes, and I started to see the people in the background in the marketplaces. Everywhere I went, the people that were crawling, that were scooting through the dirt, and also people who were just staying in their village. They were stuck there. They had no opportunity to get up and move around. And I realized that we have a surplus of mobility devices in this country that end up going into the landfill because people don't know what to do with it. So I realized that we could come and stand in the gap and be that conduit where we move the stuff from surplus here, annoyance here, into people's hands that desperately need it there.
What a brilliant analogy, and boy, the mental visual that I will now have long term, which I thank you for, is with that woman's leg twisted all the way back to the toe touching her shoulder.
I know, when he told me that story, it just came me chills up my spine.
Absolutely. So what does it take for somebody to start a nonprofit like Crutches for Africa?
Well, it takes about 18 years of study, and then that wasn't it.
A big heart.
No, that wasn't it. And boy, how do you start? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
That's right.
And so it was a step by step. But I have to say that there are elements of my thinking that are a gift to me. It's not my thinking that moves things forwards a lot of times. And so I'm very thankful that being open-minded to find other people who can pour their experience into our direction. But a lot of it was, I just went out initially and asked some of the people that I did business with, hey, can I put a barrel out and try to collect some crutches? And then fortunately I went to the Rocky Mountain News, may they rest in peace, and asked them to cover the story, and they did a great write-up. And from there, then as they say, the rest is history.
Understood. Now, do you just collect crutches, or you use the word mobility devices?
Yeah.
Tell us about what other things you provide.
Crutches, canes, walkers, and wheelchairs, and that's the 4 in Crutches for Africa. We've actually come up with 2 more items that are very desperately needed by people, and it's baby joggers and bicycle trailers. But I'm not going to change the name to Crutches 6 Africa. It doesn't work.
Baby joggers that are young, or
yeah.
What is a baby jogger?
Baby joggers, when you see the moms that they've got kids and they've got the the sport trailer or the sport jogger with the two big wheels in the back and a
Oh,
big wheel in the
yeah,
front.
sure.
What we've seen in Africa is we'll give somebody a wheelchair and the mom is trying to push somebody back to their village, and the front wheels are 8 inches and they're trying to push it up a goat path.
Right.
And it just doesn't work, especially with somebody who's completely flaccid. So having something like a baby jogger where they can sit in there, they have like a 5-point harness that locks them down and they can move up the trail a lot easier with something like that.
Oh, that's a good idea. How do you get these devices to them in Africa?
Well, we ship with 40-foot containers. So we work to fill those up and collect that material all over the United States. We're collecting in a number of other states. So when we get enough together that's been donated to us either by individuals or by companies, then we put that together. We get it loaded into a 40-foot container. We ship it off to a destination country that we've organized with, so we're not just dropping it into their laps, but we have an organized system for them to be able to distribute it in their country.
Okay, and then once it gets sent to Africa, how do they find the people that are needed, or how do they get to them?
Boy, that's easy. One of the things that I particularly like to do is to go out onto the back roads and visually find people. When you find those people, a lot of times they're in little bitty grassroots disability organizations, and those organizations then start to build a network, and that network just spreads out all over the country. So it's extremely easy to find the people.
Well, that's great. I'm glad these are getting out there. This is an excellent idea.
Now, you've got an event coming up, is that right?
Yes, Saturday.
Oh, tell us about it, please.
Oh, that is the Cabin Fever Chili Cook-Off that's being held up at Mount Vernon Country Club, noon to 3 o'clock. It's our primary fundraiser. It's $10 to come in and to eat chili and to vote for chili. It's a party. It's not your traditional kind of fundraiser. It's more of a fund-raiser. It's a lot of fun to do it. We have a bluegrass band this year. The 1 millionth bluegrass band will be there. So it's going to be a great event. We'd love to have more people come up. Again, it's noon to 3 o'clock, Mount Vernon Country Club up on Lookout Mountain.
So do they need to buy tickets in advance?
You can buy tickets in advance, but we'll also have tickets at the door.
And how would they buy tickets if they want to do it in advance?
If they would go to my website, Crutches for Africa, and that's a number 4, there's on the front page, there's a tab that says Chili Cook-Off. That would be the best way.
And that's Crutches, the number 4, Africa.org.
That's right.
All right, wonderful. You know, let me just go right now. You're looking at generating $3 million. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's about $3 a unit. I call all of those items units: a pair of crutches, a cane, a walker, a wheelchair.
Yep.
It costs $3 to get it from the United States to Africa, which is ridiculously cheap.
Sure.
Our initial goal is 1 million units into Africa, and that is why we need the $3 million at $3 a piece.
Gotcha.
We don't want to spend that money either. We want to raise the money and then invest it wisely so that we actually use the interest off that money to do the project.
Ralph, I would
That's a
imagine.
great goal.
Yeah, you can find Crutches for Africa on My Favorite Nonprofit. Yes.
Yes, we're going to be putting a group up there for them, and they will be on our site as well.
I love that. Final thought.
I just think, David, that you are doing something that's really extraordinary out there. We had another organization that came in that was taking supplies here and put it into a warehouse for people to buy, but now you're taking the crutches from here that's going to be thrown away and actually send them to Africa so they can be used by people that really need them. I like that kind of thought.
Yeah, it's an exciting thing to be involved in.
Again, our guest is David Talbot with Crutches for Africa, and David, I have to say, the thing that came to me when you said that the scales fell off my eyes and I started to see the other people. All too often, those people are invisible in our world, and
that's true.
And so thank you for challenging us to remove the scales from our eyes and see those people who really do have a need, whether it be all the way in Africa or right here in front of us. Those needs are always there.
So it's crutchesforafrica.org.
That's right. And thanks for the opportunity today. Thanks.
Absolutely. We're very happy to have you. And Ralph, of course, we want our listeners to know that they can sign up for free individual membership at your myfavoriternonprofit.com.
That's correct. Yeah, individuals can sign up for free, and they can come on and find a nonprofit to follow, and they get to know more about the nonprofits and find out what their really mission is, what they're out, and so that you can follow them and get involved with them.
Absolutely. So we want to thank you for listening to the Experience Pros radio show today. Do give Ralph a call. It's Ralph at myfavoritenonprofit.com. That's the website, the email address there. And let them know that what he's doing is making a difference in your life. I know that you've taken the time to let us know, and we would love to hear from you as well. If you'd like to carry this or any other conversation on with us, you can find us at facebook.com/experiencepros. That's facebook.com/experiencepros. Do yourself a favor, drop down and see the Ustream Live link and go ahead and click on that. You'll watch either, if we're doing it live, you can see us in the studio right now. And if we're not live,
waving at you,
you will get a video of what happened most recently. Thanks for listening.